Denny Hamlin shares an update on the well-being of his entire family. Two historic racetracks have been purchased, and here's what to expect from this show in 2026. How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Talkin NASCAR. I'm your host, Andrew. Happy New Year, everyone. Welcome to 2026. This is the first episode of Talkin NASCAR for the year 2026. I'm very excited to be continuing this show into its second year, not its second full year. That will be reached around Memorial Day. That's when I started the show last year. So I'm very excited to get to that point. But one thing that is in his second year is my other show, Talking Sports with Miles and Andrew. While I'm on the topic of it, we just celebrated our 1 year anniversary on our show. Just released a new episode earlier today on the 1st of January of 2026. So if you are interested in hearing that, go check it out. It will be on the Talking Sports with Miles and Andrew page. Go check it out. It was a lot of fun making it. Wasn't a whole lot we could do with it, but it was really cool just to try it out and see what how it worked out. So go check it out. I'll probably have it linked down in the description. And again, you can probably find it because it's the same. I'm one of its hosts, so you'll find it pretty easily. But anyways, we got a good show for you guys today. First episode. The NASCAR offseason has slowed down quite tremendously as we've gone into January. The Daytona 500 is rapidly approaching. I do have some ideas for some episodes coming up very, very soon. But besides that, don't have a lot to talk about. But I feel like in this downtime, I have had time to think about what I want this show to become for 2026. But we'll get to that in a little bit. Starting off with an update from Denny Hamlin, who took to social media a couple days ago to announce that his mother, Mary Lou, is recovering in the hospital and is on the road to recovery after the tragic house fire that took place on Christmas Day. It was truly sad to hear about that house fire for the Hamlin family, but it's good to hear that Mary Lou is on the up and up, recovering in the hospital right now. I've already shared my thoughts on this. Hopefully, things are going well, can improve in the Hamlin household, uh, but definitely tough times have been had in the Hamlin family, especially for Denny Hamlin, who I would imagine is being hit. One, he's one of the people that's getting hit hardest by all this, losing the championship, having his father being diagnosed with a terminal illness, then having this house fire that took the life of his father. So, again, my thoughts and prayers go out to the Hamlin family, but it's glad to hear that Mary Lou Hamlin is on the recovery. So, wishing the best of luck to Mary Lou in her recovery after that house fire. Next up, the Sports Business Journal conducted an interview with a legal expert, and that legal expert all but confirmed that NASCAR likely had to pay millions of dollars in legal damages to have that lawsuit settled between the sanctioning body and the two teams of 2311 Racing and Front Row Motorsports. This isn't surprising, in my opinion. This was the thing that really got in the way of the two teams coming to a settlement during the settlement conference. I mean, from what reports were that were made during that settlement conference, that whole kind of week, is that the two sides were ready to come to a settlement. It's just that the topic of who would be paying the damages really got in the way of it. I mean, the teams didn't want to pay for all the legal damages and all the fees for lawyers and everything like that. And NASCAR didn't probably at that point either, but with the lawsuit beginning to drag on and actually going to trial, it was probably in their best interest, at least for NASCAR, to pay off the damages and pay the teams for all their money that they need. And instead of having all their legal records exposed, NASCAR was more concerned probably about that than losing money because I guess they were guaranteed, both sides were guaranteed to lose money in this at some rate. But the NASCAR had more to lose in this case. Michael Jordan, Denny Hamlin, Curtis Polk, Bob Jenkins. I don't think they had a whole lot to lose in this lawsuit. They were only really to gain from this in retrospect, I guess, looking back on it. So that was something that really caught my eye that NASCAR probably paid north of $300 million to settle this case, which is very interesting. It's a big chunk of change for NASCAR, even though it's a pretty big organization. But yeah, something that definitely caught my eye. Next up, we have some very big news about two very historic tracks in American motorsports. The IHRA, the International Hot Rod Association, has purchased both Memphis Motorsports Park and Rockingham Speedway. They are now both under the banner of the IHRA, which is huge news for both tracks. We'll start with Rockingham since this is more of a well-known track, at least in modern day right now. So the Rockingham Speedway was recently revived and actually got some dates in NASCAR with the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series and the Craftsman Truck Series this past season. However, the current ownership group that owned the track heading into this year was unable to hang on to it, and eventually, there was some legal action that went against that ownership group from the state of North Carolina. So it was definitely a bit of an ugly mess between those two sides. So anyway, that ownership group ended up being uh, had to leave ownership of Rockingham Speedway, and now the IHRA is now the new owner of Rockingham Speedway, which is huge, which means that Rockingham will probably continue to have a future. I mean, the IHRA is a very noticeable organization in America right now, so this is great to hear that Rockingham hopefully will continue to be on NASCAR schedules for years and years to come. I would love to see a Cup Series race there. I would love to continue seeing Truck Series and O'Reilly Auto Parts Series races there. I think it's really good for the Truck Series to get back to what the Truck Series really means to be, which is kind of like the more grassroots type of series out of the three national series compared to the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series and the Cup Series, which is great to see. So I'm glad to see Rockingham Speedway has a new owner of the track, and they continue to help revitalize and make that track back to its glory days, if you will, and continue to have it on the schedules. Now, for Memphis Motorsports Park, it's kind of on a similar tour to what Rockingham is. It hasn't had nearly the same amount of time and effort put into it compared to Rockingham. Hasn't been used. It was used more recently before this year compared to Rockingham, but it definitely not has had as much restoration in it as well. But the IHRA has purchased it and is looking to make facility upgrades and upgrades to the track service as well, which is huge. It's used to be known as Memphis International Raceway, but the property was actually bought on December 23rd. So again, it's huge. Not very. There's actually a lot of tracks in Tennessee at this point. You have the Nashville Fairgrounds, which has been under a lot of scrutiny and controversy the past couple years, as NASCAR has been trying to get back to that track for quite a while now. There's been a lot of lawsuits and a lot of debate going on. You have Nashville Speedway or Nashville Super Speedway, excuse me, and then you have Bristol Motor Speedway in Bristol, Tennessee. And now you got Memphis Motorsports Park. I don't expect anything really to come out of this. I would think that it's going to take a little bit before Memphis can be back on a NASCAR schedule. I would love to see it on there. I'm very interested to see how it would work and how drivers would drive it. But I would definitely wait and see probably maybe a year or two before it really gets into consideration to be on NASCAR schedules. But with Rockingham already being on there, I could see Memphis Motorsports Park also being a track that NASCAR may be looking at as possibly a new track they can add to any of their schedules in the coming seasons. So it's really cool to hear that Rockingham and Memphis Speedway have been bought by the IHRA. Glad to see what they're doing as a good cause, preserving these tracks, and we'll see how this new ownership group will help these tracks and what the future of these tracks may hold. Because I'm very excited to see these tracks being restored, these old grassroots tracks, and I'm really hoping that NASCAR will go back to them. I think it's really good for the sport. Now, that isn't a whole lot of news that is out there in the NASCAR world right now. I do again have some ideas for episodes in the coming days that I do want to put out there. I probably should get on those because my schedule is going to get very busy very, very quickly. But after these like next 2 weeks, when my schedule kind of cools down, maybe things will kind of get back to normal and I'll be able to post episodes. But as we go on into the rest of this year, I do have some changes I would like to make. It's not a whole bunch. I mean, you can still expect me to continue making episodes. I'm not going away. Far from it. I love this. I love doing this. It's one of my favorite hobbies at this point. It's a hobby for me to go on here, sit at my desk, and have my laptop and my microphone recording episodes for you guys. It's one of my favorite things to do. And I've loved the support so far. I mean, even especially on YouTube. I just saw an episode that I got 12 views on. I'm very happy to see all that support on there. I mean, 12 views is the most I've had on YouTube. And then on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, things have been very solid over there. I encourage you guys to keep it up and maybe help share this show a little bit more to maybe those who are definitely maybe not NASCAR people, but maybe would like to see it. I mean, NASCAR is America's motorsport. I know IndyCar's up there challenging it, but NASCAR is the thing, the racing series you think of when you turn to America and think, man, what's their racing sport? It's NASCAR. It's got to be the big stock cars, the loud roar of the engines. So I would love if you guys can continue sharing with that. But as for this year in 2026, the changes I'm going to make is that I am planning to have at least 3 episodes up per week, or I should be more specific. I'm still going to continue doing the Cup Series race review and recaps. I'm still planning to do my power rankings for the Cup Series. I am considering making some O'Reilly Auto Parts Series and Craftsman Truck Series power rankings. I'm just not sure if I'm really quite ready to move up into that territory yet, but it may follow with my changes are for this year. And one of those changes being that I am going to be recapping every single O'Reilly Auto Parts Series race and every Craftsman Truck Series race. Now, they're not going to be on every single week with the Cup Series or like the Cup Series is doing. So, I'm not going to say that every week I'm going to have an O'Reilly Auto Parts Series or Craftsman Truck Series recap because they're not obviously not going to have one every single week. So I do plan to have those episodes going out. I mean, I could be posting up to 3 episodes a week minimum sometimes. Maybe just one, maybe just two, maybe no Cup Series and only O'Reilly Auto Parts Series and Truck Series recaps. But I'm doing this really to one, also give me a reason to involve myself more in these lower series of NASCAR because I feel like I'm not really in that yet. And I really would like to get to know the series more and be more involved in it. And I would love to take another step for this show as well and get you guys exposed to the 2 other national series in NASCAR. I may consider doing some Arco Menard series stuff, but considering that is the lowest division of NASCAR, I may not dive into that very much, but I definitely do want to dive and do recaps for every single O'Reilly Auto Parts Series and Craftsman Truck Series race. I mean, I've already been covering the moves that the teams in the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series and the Truck Series are making with getting new drivers, hiring crew chiefs. Most of the time, it's mostly the big teams that are making crew chief changes that are noticeable. And I feel like it's a good time for me to maybe jump into that realm, if you know what I mean. Expand my reach in NASCAR, expand my content a little bit more. So I hope you guys are ready for that. But besides that, you can't really expect much else. I'm just adding the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series and Craftsman Truck Series recaps. I'm still gonna be reacting to big breaking news. I'm gonna have news episodes when I can't do episodes in the week while I'm at school. And I'll be making the Cup Series recaps. I'll do my power rankings usually during those weekly episodes. But yeah, you can definitely expect more of the same. It's just the addition of the Craftsman Truck Series and the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series recaps. So at the bare minimum, I may be posting 3 episodes a week, maybe two, maybe one. We'll just have to wait and see depending on the schedule. But besides all that, I think that's all I have for you guys today. Again, Happy New Year. Welcome to 2026. I am really excited and ready for another year of content, not only on this show, but my other show, Talking Sports with Miles and Andrew, which you haven't checked out yet. Go check it out. Make that your New Year's resolution to tune into not only this show for every single episode, but also tune in for every single episode of Talking Sports with Miles and Andrew. I really appreciate that. If you would do that, at least. But that's going to do it for me, everyone. Hope you enjoyed this episode. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it, I guess. If you did enjoy this episode, please consider following this show on either Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts, so you make sure you never miss another episode of Talkin NASCAR with me, Andrew Volkman, at least for this year in 2026. And if you're listening on YouTube, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. It really helps me out. Again, I got 12 views on one video or episode. I don't know which one to say, but that's really huge. I really appreciate you guys. I want that to be the numbers for every single episode, not just YouTube, but Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts. Make sure you share this show with your friends, your family, people you know that are motorsports fans. Share it with your grandma, share it with your best friend, share it with your sister, share it with your cousin, share it with your uncle, share it with your great grandfather. I don't know. Share it with everybody you know, I guess. But I really appreciate you guys for all the support I had in 2025, and I hope you're ready for 2026, and I'll see you in the next episode, everyone.